And good morning, everybody. A somber day today as our hearts go out to families and all the people in Oklahoma who are helping with that disaster there. We're going to, of course, have coverage throughout the day on the Today Show as well as on today's TMJ4. But now we welcome back a familiar face. Trenni Kusnierek used to work here. She was a Major League Baseball reporter, host of Sports Central, and often filled in here on the Morning Blend. She's now living in Boston, but shortly after she left, she opened up about her battle with depression in an article from Milwaukee Magazine. Trenni's back this morning. So excited to see her. Get some fashion tips from her, along with Dr. Rachel Leonard of Rogers Memorial Hospital. They're both speaking later at a luncheon that benefits the hospital's foundation. It's a blast to have you back. Hi, Trenni.
It's so good to see you.
Welcome back. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well. It's nice to be home, and it's nice that you have nice, beautiful weather.
Yeah, I know we did that just for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. No, it's great. It's great to be home. I got home yesterday. I'm able to see my family, my grandparents, my parents, my sister, brother, my niece, who's adorable.
Yeah,
so
you got a little
nice.
farmer's tan.
I did. I got a farmer's tan yesterday while I ate a Cafe Hollander in Tosa, and only one side, of course, which is, I'm glad I have short sleeves on. I almost wore sleeveless. That would be not attractive.
That you'd have like a mark there. But Boston life treating you good? I mean, you've had a lot going on there with the bombing, so I know it's been a difficult time to live in that city.
Yeah, that was a tough time only because I'm a runner. I was at the marathon. I didn't run because I've been just kind of nursing an injury. But to be in a city, you know, from here we always watch it from afar and we see what people are going through. So there's sort of a detached sense, I guess, of fear or sadness. But when you're in the midst of it, you know, I have to take the train almost every day, and I live in a really high tourist area. So there, you know, there are you know, dogs and military trucks and Humvees and police officers there all the time. But in a weird way, and I was telling this to some people that I talked back here shortly after, it sort of brought the city together more, and I almost feel more a part of Boston now because you sort of went through all of that together. And you know, like any place in the country, you can't let something like that stop you. It's not like you can sit inside your house. It's a beautiful city. It hasn't stopped tourism. There's tons of groups on my street every single day.
I bet. I've been to Boston. I love that city. So it was good. I know we talked a little bit while you were there, and I'm going to talk to you in just a second, Doctor, but I wanted to talk a little bit about Trenni's story. So I don't mean to leave you out of the conversation at all, because you're going to have some important things to add about how people can get help. But Trenni, I knew a little bit about your depression. We talked about it a few times when you were filling in on the show, but I was really impressed when you opened up about your story to Milwaukee Magazine. It was a lengthy article. Was that a tough decision? Yeah,
I had always sort of thought about talking to someone about it. I'd always thought maybe I would either write a personal article for, you know, on Milwaukee.com or Milwaukee Magazine. And then I guess I felt, you know, is it smart? Would it be a smart career move? Would it keep someone from hiring me? Insurance-wise, if I took a new job, would an insurance company reject me because immediately they know that I suffer from depression? I would need medication. I would need therapy. And you know, the way our insurance system is set up, a lot of times those pre-existing conditions keep you from getting the help that you need. And then this last summer, I was talking with Howie, who wrote the article, and the initial article was just going to be about this, you know, kind of different sports reporter who, you know, went to India and taught English and has kind of traveled and done all these sort of different weird things. And then Junior Seau committed suicide. And it was, you know, one of kind of a number of things that had happened with professional athletes involving depression and suicide. And I just thought, you know what, I have this platform, so why don't I talk to people about it? Because maybe if there was someone who knew, oh, that reporter, you know, suffers from this, or another athlete does, then you have someone you can talk to. So I sent Howie a message and I said, I know this is a little, you know, maybe surprising, but I wonder if we can do this as the focus of the article, or at least a piece of my story, as opposed to something that's maybe just a little more glib.
Well, it is surprising, Trenni, because I know you, I've been around you, you have this great energy, you're always smiling, you're gorgeous, you perform on camera, on the radio, very involved in sports, and I think that's the thing that people should know is that, you know, depression, there isn't just one face of this disease.
No, and for me, doing something like this is almost helpful because it sort of keeps my mind off of things. Like, I get anxious sort of easily, and I'm an overthinker, and that's where I think sometimes my problems sort of snowball. So when I'm in front of a camera, I can sort of look at the prompter, I can look at my co-anchor, and I can go. And I think that is a way for me to cope with it. For other people, that I think puts pressure on them. And someone that I guess I sort of always identified with was Zach Greinke. People couldn't understand understand how can this guy who has this severe social anxiety disorder get on a mound and pitch. And I used to tell people, and this is before I talked about my story, I said, sometimes for people that's the best medicine because it allows you to focus on one thing and not worry about everything else that's going on.
I opened up about anxiety, especially after Zach Greinke talked about it, and when that was more public. People to know and identify with someone and see that this is happening, and then they feel comfortable seeking help or talking to somebody about it. And for you, I wonder, how bad is your depression? Is it something you still struggle with? And a lot of people want to know, does medication help? I know you're really into exercise.
Yeah, medication for me helps. You'll obviously know, Rachel will know much more about this than I will. Not everyone needs medication. I've tried to go off of it. It hasn't always worked for me when I have gone off of medication. Running really helps for me. I wasn't able to run Boston. That's the 5K, but the day before the Boston Marathon. So that helps me, and just being around. But I think the thing that has helped me the most is being able to be open about it with everyone. You know, for the first time ever, I told, I have a boyfriend in Boston.
I know,
for the
he's
first
cute.
time,
He's from Ireland, isn't he?
He's from Dublin, Ireland.
I think we have a picture
and
of
for
him.
the first time ever, I actually sent him, there's Peter.
Yay, Peter.
I'm sure he's going to love when I sent him this clip that I put him on TV in Milwaukee. I sent him the article and I said, listen, you know, if this is something that, you know, I want you to know about it because not everyone can handle it the same way. Not everyone wants to have to deal with someone who on some days I can really, sometimes I can't have control of it and I lose it. I might cry a lot, or I might be really, you know, anxious about something, or I might lash out at someone that's close to me because I just can't, you know, always properly, you know, sort of go through the motions of dealing and coping with the things that I go through. And he's been fantastic about it. He uses sort of a sense of humor. He's Irish. They're not great with emotions all the time, but he uses a good sense of humor to deal with it. And my friends are really great about it. And I have friends now. And I was surprised when the article came out, I was getting text messages, direct messages on Twitter, emails from athletes, other friends of mine who I never knew had ever struggled with anything, but who had said, wow, I didn't know this. Had I known this, I would have maybe asked you some questions, or we could have talked about it. I would have asked you for advice. And I said, well, you still can. You know, just because I'm not in the you know, the locker room in Milwaukee anymore doesn't mean that you can't ask, or, you know, at the station. But I think for me, that was helpful because now I have this extra support group of people where, you know, I had an instance in Boston a few weeks ago, or maybe a month ago, where I just wasn't feeling it. And I called my friends. I said, you know, I'm just feeling kind of anxious today. I don't really feel like going to dinner. My friend said, you know what, let's not go to dinner then. Why don't you come over and we'll watch a movie and we'll hang out. And it wasn't like, oh, great, she's Debbie Downer. You know, now we have to redo all of our plans. It was like, okay, you know, I have problems with this too. And she actually said, well, I have Xanax if you want one, which I would never take a Xanax from somebody else, but I appreciate the offer. But it was sort of this, okay, I understand you, you understand me. Now it's easier to sort of, it's so much easier when you can be open about something as opposed to hide from it.
Do you find that too, doctor, that in dealing with depression that people tend to maybe begin to heal or begin to cope a little bit better once they can be open and share their disorder?
Definitely. I think being able to get that social support from people that care about you and just being able to tell them when you're having a tough day can be really helpful.
What are some of the signs or symptoms of depression? Because I think it's always fascinating to me how many cases of it, how many people go without being diagnosed or treated.
Well, there's sadness and depressed mood, loss of interest in activities, and then changes in sleep, either sleeping too much or too little, changes in weight and appetite, feelings of hopelessness, worthlessness, guilt, and thoughts of death or suicide are all symptoms.
Did you ever contemplate suicide, Trenni?
Not seriously, no. I don't think I ever was that, you know, for lack of a better word, sick that I thought that was my only option. And I credit that again to, I think, the support system that I have and people being sort of okay with me talking about going to therapy. But there were times that I always explain it to people that sometimes you just want to go to sleep and not wake up for a really long time because it's exhausting to deal with constantly feeling bad. You know, when you're constantly feeling anxious and your stomach is in knots and you can't figure out why because there's no real concrete answer, that becomes very draining on a person. And there were times where I thought, if I could just like escape and go somewhere for like a month to an island and come back and everything would be okay. But I never, thankfully I never felt the need that it was so bad and that that I was burdening people around me so much that taking such an extreme measure would be the way I would go.
And how do you know when you should seek help for depression? Because we all feel sad sometimes, and we all go through difficult things in life that make us feel like we're depressed.
I think once you start to notice that you're in distress or you're having difficulty functioning at work or in your social life, it's worth getting an opinion and seeking help from a professional.
How do you explain the way Trenni looks on the outside? Her happy disposition, she's incredibly capable, smart, fun, and then she has depression. It seems like something that doesn't add up.
I think a lot of people are like that, where they try to keep it hidden and are able to get through the things that they might need to do, but then the second there's downtime, they can kind of let their guard down and kind of retreat into themselves. So I think that's pretty common.
Why is it the people on who have depression, or people who are anxious, or people who have social anxiety or OCD, why is there guilt about taking medication? Because I think it's so common for people, because I've been there too. You want to get off the medication, you want to think that you're okay.
I think there's a message for some people that you shouldn't need this medication, and I think that's part of the stigma associated with mental illness.
You should be able to just buck up and move forward. Yeah.
But a lot of people get really good benefit from medication, and I think by talking about it, by people like you coming out, hopefully more people are willing to take medication and seek psychotherapy as well.
What about the free screening that you have? Talk a little bit about that, because this is a way for people to kind of preliminarily find out if they have a problem, right?
So through Rogers Memorial Hospital, they can call 1-800-767-4411, the number on the screen there, and our admissions department will do a free screening over the phone. And then at the end of that screening, they can give you a sense for how severe your symptoms are, and then some recommendations for the appropriate level of treatment based on that symptom severity.
So you can also request that online then, right?
Definitely.
What kinds of questions are asked in a screening like that?
They often go through your history, you know, when did you start feeling depressed, ask you about the different symptoms of depression, and they'll often do a rating scale to get a score that can indicate how severe those symptoms are.
What about people who are watching and they have depression, they feel like they've sought treatment, maybe they've tried medications and it hasn't worked and they're not better? I feel like in those particular cases, people start to feel hopeless.
I would definitely recommend trying treatment again, and perhaps more intensive treatment. So that is one of the things that Rogers has to offer, is some of these intensive treatment programs, intensive outpatient, partial hospital, and even residential programs. So if their symptoms are severe and they're not going away, definitely trying treatment again is worth it.
In a week or in a month, Trenni, how many days do you feel good?
Now, I would say probably 25 to 27 days in a 30-day month. I mean, now my periods of going sort of up and down are less. And I will say, you know, we're talking about medication. I think the important thing is that you can find medication where I think the fear is that you feel sort of numb. And I think that based on who you are and what your doctor would prescribe, you can find medication where you don't have those feelings of being out of it. You feel pretty normal, and that the benefits outweigh, you know, maybe the risks or
the side effects
of it. Yeah, the side effects. So for me, you know, a combination of medication, talk therapy, exercise, friends, and just, you know, sort of when I'm starting now to feel down, sort of retraining my brain to think a different way has been really, really helpful for me.
And I think that's the thing, is that there's hope with treatment. It's a wonderful message that you're going to share today. The luncheon's sold out, so people won't be able to go, but here's the good thing. You can still help the Rogers Memorial Foundation because they help patients who are in need. Here's the phone number you can call for more information. It's 262-646-1646, or go to rogersmemorialfoundation.org for more information. It was a blast to see you, Trenni. Thanks, Doctor, for joining us, and good luck today at the luncheon.
Thanks.
Come back soon. The next time Tiffany's off, you can fill in.
I have said if I'm home, I'm home again in July. If you need if you need someone to fill in while I'm on vacation, happy to do it.
Sounds good. Thanks, you guys. Good to see you.